Hi, and welcome to this short video about COVID related tasks within the TeamKinetic system. To give you a little bit of a brief background behind this, we've realized that a couple of weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago, that the types of normal volunteer opportunities weren't really suitable for these kind of volunteering that's taking place since the virus outbreak. In particular, the opportunities they now involve sensitive information. So if you're delivering things like delivering, I don't know, essentials to somebody or walking their dog, well, there is sensitive information involved there. So you've got where the person lives, the phone number, what the shopping list is, and this, that, and the other. And obviously, we don't want to make that public to anybody. So we've built a new type of opportunity within the TeamKinetic system called tasks. And also from the volunteer side, we've also give them a new search page which shows just these tasks in a very mobile friendly way, because we noticed that there's a big uptake. The vast majority of volunteers are kind of using their mobile phones to manage their way and kind of doing these deliveries and etc. So the main point is just to clarify, realize there's a lot of people out there who've got scraps of paper and they're trying to look after their local area and they're trying to get deliveries done, or they've got Excel spreadsheets and it's not really made fit for that purpose. So we've built a way into the system that you can allow people in your local area to register as a provider. You can decide which ones can create these tasks, so you can mark the providers down and say only these providers can create these tasks. The provider, obviously the community lead, whoever it is, they're on the system as a provider. They create the task. The volunteer can then go to your front page. They can see the task and join it, and then the information, the appropriate information, is shared. So I'm going to take you through how all that works now. So in order to turn on the COVID tasks, first thing you need to do is your super admin will need to switch on the functionality. So go into the super admin menu, TeamKinetic options. Then there's a COVID tab here on the left-hand menu, which shows all of these COVID-related options. Essentially, just switch them all on, make sure they all switch to yes. They just dictate who can actually see it and who can create tasks. You've also got one at the bottom here, which is enable COVID front page, which will change your front page from your normal kind of slider and search bar, etc., that you're normally used to seeing, into this section here. Now, it's very similar functionality to your normal front page. You've got register as a volunteer, register as a provider down here, essentially. Search for your normal opportunities. We're kind of going to go to your normal search page. And then you've got this extra one here, which will allow volunteers, when they click on it, allow them to log in using their normal login details, and then they'll be able to see this new task search page. So this is the new bit that's kind of added in there. Okay. So once all of those are switched on and you clicked on the save button, that's the first part of it done. The second part of it is dictate who can actually, which providers can can create these tasks. Okay, so you've probably got a number of providers on the system. You may not want all of them to be able to create tasks. You may want to handpick them. If you go to providers, opportunities and providers menu, down to providers, then you click on the provider name. Okay, we've got this button here. It says revoke community tasks. So you can just basically switch this between turning it on and turning it off. So obviously this has already been approved. That's why it was showing it the revoke. But if I click on it again, it will change over to reverse. So when you do it, you'll probably see them all starting like this. So by saying allow community tasks, what you're saying is this provider here can then go to and see this community task page and create tasks. Okay, so make sure that's switched on for the providers that you want to be able to create community tasks. So the next thing is the provider needs to create a task. So if I impersonate this provider, just so you can see exactly what this provider is seeing. Okay, so when they go to manage opportunities, they now have another option that says manage community tasks, where they're going to create the task. Click on there, and then they've got shows all the existing tasks here, and you can see the information just by clicking on the name of the task. Essentially, what we're doing is all tasks when you first create them, they start off as an unassigned task. Okay, once the volunteers joined it, it goes to applied, and once the volunteers once you've approved the volunteer on that task, so you said yes, they can go ahead and actually do that delivery or walk that dog, it moves it across to in progress, and it shares any sensitive information with that volunteer. And then finally, once the volunteer marks it as complete, it moves across to this completed column here at the end. So how do you create a task? Well, click on the plus button. You've got 3 sections here. I won't go into all of them now, but you've got private data here. So this is things like the recipient being the person who needs needs the food and the bread or whatever it is, or needs a dog walking. This is a unique identifier for them, because what you've probably got is imagine these people out in the community trying to look after their local area. They've probably got a sheet of paper, might be an Excel spreadsheet, might be a scrap of paper, could be anything, where they're holding this information. And they'll want some way of tying back the task that say they see on the screen to the task, that the original source of the information, the task on the piece of paper. So in order to do that, you need some way of uniquely identifying the task so you can tie it back. So this would be something like national insurance number or something like that, I'd imagine. You could put in some notes if you wanted to. Like say, this private data, only I'm going to see this. Only the provider is going to see this. Under the public data side of things, this is what's going to be publicly visible to any volunteer who's deciding whether to join the task. So this might be deliver essentials. Deliver essentials. Obviously, it's a mandatory field there. You see, it's covered. It's in red. This is optional, so I don't have to put anything in there. What category is it? It's a delivery. When it needs to be done by, criminal check required, ID check required. Now, if the provider marks either of these down as yes, then it will only allow volunteers who have a criminal record check or who have an ID to be able to see the task. So it's not like they can't join it. They won't be able to see it unless they are able to join it, if that makes sense. So there's a process there which I'm going to take you through how to kind of authorize ID for a volunteer and also do the criminal check. So we've got private data, public data. Last but not least, we've got this is the data that's going to be shown to the volunteer who me as a provider approves on the task. So I create the task, volunteer joins it, I approve the volunteer, and when I approve them, it's going to share this information in this box here with the volunteer so they can go and actually deliver the food. So this might be the recipient's name, Mrs. Gold, put in a phone, recipient's phone number, some kind of postcode, and what do they want? They want milk, bread, and I don't know, soup. I do, and click on the Add New Task. Okay, that adds the task there into Deliver Essentials, so it's in here, as you can see, Mrs. Gold. If I click on it, it brings up the details, and all I have to do now is have to wait for a volunteer to join that task. So let's go to the volunteer side. Okay, so from the volunteer side, they obviously land on your front page. They go down to use rapid response covered tasks. Click on there. Now, if they logged in normally, okay, you let them log in normally and they can do all the normal stuff. But when they go to the search page, it says, do you want to access COVID tasks? So it makes it very obvious to them. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in doing just COVID related tasks, click on here. And that's going to take them through to their normal search page, which we're about to see now. So rapid response covered tasks. I'm on the volunteer. Click on that button. It says, let's install the app. It's already open. Put in my normal volunteer login details. It logs me in. So basically, it shows not your normal opportunities, just these tasks that have been created by these providers. So I can sit and find the task that I want to join, whichever one it is. Let's choose this one here. Okay, deliver bread and tuna to South Isolator. So yes, I can help with this. It then moves it from this column into the applied column here. There it is, sat within the applied column. That's it. And then it's waiting for the provider now to approve me on that task and say, yes, this person is okay to go ahead and do that. So if we go back to the provider's view, under the applied tasks, we can see there, it's waiting for me. I'm going to say, yes, this volunteer can go and do that and click on the approve button. That's going to share that sense of information now with that volunteer so they know where to deliver the stuff and what to get from the shops. So back to the volunteer's view. Okay, it's now been moved to assigned column, so it's moved it from applied over to assigned because the provider's assigned it to me essentially, approved it. And I can see here, click on the button there, and it says, okay, here's the details. I know where to deliver the information to. I know what I'm delivering. I know where it is. I could send a message back to the provider if I wanted to, or I could just mark it as complete. If I mark it as complete, that moves it across, says thank you, and moves it across to this final column here. And from the provider side, it moves it across to the final column here. So both the volunteer and the provider are essentially moving it from left to right. New task been created, a volunteer has joined it, information has been shared with the volunteer so they can do the task, and then it's been completed. Okay, and it's exactly the same for the volunteers. Search from here, join them here, been approved here, and then it's completed here. Okay. So I hope that's been useful for you. Very quick overview. Um, like I say, we are working on future enhancements to this. So we're looking at ID badges is one that's very much on our radar. Well, not on the radar, we're working on it already. Also, we're exploring different avenues about payments, getting money to the volunteers to buy the goods and getting money off the recipients potentially. And yeah, there's a whole host of other kind of developments we're trying to build around this as we kind of hear different requests of things that people are struggling with. So I hope that's useful for you. Yes, any other questions or any queries about it, just raise them as a support ticket as normal through the help and support menu, and we'll be happy to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Thank you for your time. Stay safe.